I want to say something too that has really come to my attention just from talking to you. It's weird to me that I didn't even think for myself for a music theme park until you mentioned it, and I think the reason why is because I assume that the possibility it's not even possible. I don't even think about those ideas because the money isn't there, or maybe just the negative attitude about it. Like, man, I'm never going to be able to make that happen. So what's the point in thinking about it? But that's such a bad way to live life and exist. So anybody out there watching this, again, you know, shoot for the stars. Don't think about all the negatives and all the obstacles, all the barriers first. The idea comes, and everything should follow if it's a good enough idea and it's thought through well.
Yeah. I mean, it's all about ideas, man. Rest in peace, Dr. Miles Monroe. But Dr. Miles Monroe, he passed away in 2014. He was a very prolific teacher of the Word of God. And one of his messages, he spoke on this. He's like, "What's more powerful than ideas?" And when I remember I first heard this message he delivered, it was about 4 or 5 years ago. And for me, it was a confirmation, because I've always been, the idea of ideas has always excited me. But it's like, everybody got ideas, so what's to get excited about? I'm like, yeah, but I don't know. It's always been compelled by ideas. When I heard that he did that sermon, that lecture, that message on ideas, the most powerful thing on this earth is an idea. The fact that, you look at the Constitution or any document that, influences society, we're being governed by, saying dead man's
yeah,
ideas.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it is profound. I mean, at the root, ideas. Whether the idea to create all the makings of that they went into making this phone, and then the internet, and Wi-Fi, and then applications, and the idea of people being able to talk, and then the idea of doing all these ideas, man. And I don't know, it's just fascinating. It's nonstop. And I think about what you just said about when you think about the money, like the lack of money, or the limited money. And again, we were talking about unlimited potential versus a lack perspective. When I look at the money, I don't see it. I see limited. I see limitation. But when I let the idea flow in the field of potential, that is ideas start popping up. You probably start drawing some stuff later on. Oh, this could be here. This will be there. We'll put that over there. Oh man, then I'll have this here. Then you walk in, you have this hall of speakers. You walk down, you just hear the music playing. Just whatever. I mean, it's whatever. And so when we focus on that field of potential, we get excited, and then eventually that does take you into some other topics, which I would say of metaphysical in nature. I'm not an expert in it, but things about laws of attraction, utilizing feeling to manifest, making impressions through feeling, to the point that sets the process of manifestation it sets it in motion. And that's a whole nother conversation. But again, focus on that potential, man. I mean, the money that we shouldn't. Just imagine you having this great idea. We're talking about this music part. Let's say you get off the phone and you sit there for the next hour. You start writing it all out, and then all of a sudden you're like, man, but I don't have the money, and then you just put your pen down.
What was the point?
Yeah. Someone else got the money. And last I checked, what I hear the experts say. Again, I'm not an expert in this. I haven't done it. But I hear, many of the successful people, they talk about spending other people's money, and not in a disrespectful way, but from an investment standpoint. So there's a part of the game that still, has to be learned as well.
Right.
But in order for somebody to invest, you have to come forward, with that product is the initial presentation. That product that's the first phase of it. Here's my idea.
It's the American
right now, in the virtual room you sit in.
Yeah.
It's like that. I mean, imagine you sit in a virtual room, but that instead of it just being a stock virtual room, it's actually something that somebody designed for you, and you're just going through the slides like this is the main interest to the music music part. And you sitting there talking right now, giving a presentation. Then we go to the next room, Then we show some other rendering, but you're presented. You stand in front of like you're actually in the park, kind of like Walt Disney, But I could see it. I was like, oh man, Then when I can see it, I can sense it. When I can sense it, I can feel it.
Yes. Yeah.
I can feel it.
And that's the American dream. That's the American dream, man. That's what everybody talks about. It seems like it doesn't exist as much anymore, but it is. It does. It's there.
Mm-hmm.
You know what motivates me a lot with ideas is in the potential is think about all the things that we've done wrong as humans in the past. It births new ideas for me because knowing that those ideas were wrong, and maybe it developed. Created progress, but I think sometimes we get lost along the way, and those new ideas that come up are just evolution, just trying to continue to get better and better as people, as human beings. Walt Disney, how can we make this world a better place for our children? As an example, one of the things I've learned from you is balance. Another thing I've learned from you is to not be afraid to ask the question, and more importantly, don't be afraid to ask yourself the question and weigh the positives and negatives like we've been talking about. But for example, why not do something? What's the reason for not doing something? It answers its own question. It's better to do than to not do. But and don't choose to act out of fear. I literally wrote this down before we had this conversation, and that's just, I guess, me knowing you well enough. But you're always kind of basically saying, put both feet in and try, and make the effort first, and then go on that feeling. If it continues to go well, if the feeling is still there that it seems like it's a good idea and it's positive, then go for it, do it. Explain to me real quick when we'll go ahead and end the interview, but explain to me what the digital 60s are.
The digital 60s?
Yeah.
It's almost like I want to say almost somewhat of a cultural mashup. It's really like the spirit, the energy of the 60s, from especially socially, the social movements, and taking that, because to this era, what's going on now is very reminiscent of the 60s, what's been going on the last year or so. And so it's like taking that, combining it with this digital era that we're in, and we see the protests, we see things, but we also see it being expressed through digital media, whether it's people protesting online different ways or actually face to face. But again, so it's just really taking two different time periods and this is what, put them together, and the vibe of the 60s, for so long we hear about the 60s, the turning point in American culture, the
right.
60s, the music of the 60s, and I think it had, and that the brand of the 60s is so dynamic, from a social standpoint, just how things would turn, even like in entertainment, how movies started crossing the line, becoming more risque, and art began to explode. The late 60s, early 70s, so much. And so it's, like I said, it's just really, like I said, somewhat, like I said, mashup, but somewhere between 2020 and the 60s combined together. And so at the end of the day, it's just, if anything, it's just kind of like a creative theme, to potentially use as a creative thing. That's really it, the digital 60s. Sounds like a group name also.
Yeah, it does.
But it could be a lot of things, Like I said, that's one of the, as I would say, one of the quick thoughts that kind of came to mind. And it has a ring to it,
It does.
I talk about this stuff, typically in my smaller circles. Like, hey, man, what you think about this? That's pretty cool. So I just figured it was some content for Vidjo. And that's it, man.
It makes me think that I think we're in a time now where this could be a negative moment for us with coronavirus going on and a lot of people staying at home. I think it's a positive. I think this gives us a good time to reflect and give us new ideas and move forward. And what we come out of it, I think, will be really great.
Yeah,
don't you?
I agree.
Yeah. Well, let's end it there. And hey, I appreciate this again greatly, and I hope that we can do it again.
Hey, thanks for having me, man. Very much appreciated. Saying congrats to your platform. What is the name? I know I should have maybe should have started with this, but and I respect you too, because as soon as you came on, man, you got right to it.
I do, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I like that. But yeah, I'm just glad to be. Thanks for having me on, being a part of it, and just sharing your thoughts. And man, you gave me a lot of good things to chew on today as well.
Good.
Because like I said, you never know what you're doing and it could be affecting somebody, and ideally in a positive way. So, like I said, congratulations to you and your podcast, what you're doing, and I'm looking forward to seeing it, and offer some, my support as well. So
great. We'll call it the Justin Cost Podcast for now. I don't think I have a name yet, but just trying to make sure it happens. Right. That's all that matters.
Okay, I'll be listening, man, because like I shared one thing I like to do is listen, and very often in conversation I'll hear something that you may say or the person speaking, and it's like the answer is in your words. If I hear it, I'll give it back to you like, man, you said this. This would be a good concept, maybe a good title. I love coming up with titles, so if I can be of assistance, let me know. But yes. I know that could be a very personal thing too, so that's what I love about, again, ideas. I understand they could be very personal, they could be very sensitive, but and again, that's why I'm not in a space. I'm gonna say this, and I know we got to wrap it up.
No, you're good.
But even when I first started doing Vidjo, man, even that finding my lane of like, okay, I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna stay in this space. I swerve a little bit, but I try to stay in the lane. But the one thing I'm very mindful of, I don't overthink it, but as long as my root intention, I don't want to come off as like, I got the answers and you need to listen to me.
Right.
That is oh my God, man. That's like, if I ever even sound like that, please tell me. Okay? Yeah, you have to be direct. You have to be confident in presenting your ideas. But for me, and that's why I do disclaimers from time to time on Vidjo, again, because everybody has a philosophy. This is one of my strong beliefs. You got a philosophy, I got a philosophy. Everybody got a philosophy. And I think, and that's what I call the word of man. The word of man is that man's philosophy. And I can't just come in your life and say, okay, Just, you're going to start doing this, you're going to start doing that, you're going to start doing this with your family, you're going to start. You'll be like, whoa, dude, if I was a millionaire, if I was a billionaire, you're still not going to allow me to come in your life and just tell you, okay, you're going to do this now, okay? Like, okay, sure. It's not going to happen.
No. You
got your way, I have my way. We have common ground we can relate with, but at the same time, that's because I respect my personal philosophy. It's easy to respect others.
Right.
That's why I'm like, I want to hear it. We can share. I may maybe some takeaway, but that's your philosophy, And so I think that's very important because, my philosophy falls under the grand philosophy. As I would say, the word of God. There's the word of God and there's the word of man.
Yeah.
And I'm up under that. And understanding that order for me, at least I believe this order, oh man, that was a confidence booster.
That's clarity. That's clarity.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm doing it to help other people, and I think that's the first step for me. But to make the world a better place has been my motivation. So, yeah.
Awesome, man. So,
well, hey,
keep fucking on, man. Keep doing your thing.
This isn't going to be the last. We got to do this again.
Hey, whenever, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Cool.
So,
hey, same here. Looking forward to the next video.
All right.
Take care, Ty. See you.
Until next time, you have a good one.
You too.